Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Newage multiverse trauma team. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox them live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're going to do some comparisons with them and the original, I was going to say generation 1 self, but to be honest they were never generation 1. They were in fact diaclone releases. These happen to be the ehobby, which again are based on the diaclone colours, and of course we can see just I suppose how small they are because they're legend scale compared to the mainline deluxe size figures as well. So quite a bit to get through with this video. So as I start to pop all these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please. And the other is to thank Shozy, because that's who I ordered this from, and as you can see they got them out to me nice and quickly and safely. Right, let's look at the box first and foremost. So yes, so these are the insecticons as we know them, but as I say, they're in their original diaclone colours. Now the reason they're not called insecticons and by their proper names is because this is made by Newage, which is a third-party company. Now interestingly enough, we've got one of them's called Boris, one of them's called Wade, and the other one is called Kyle. There in fact is some product images of them, and there again they are on the back. I've already took them out of there just to speed the video up ever so slightly. This is how they come packaged, and pretty much the same as what Takara used to do years and years ago. The instructions are what I would class as industry standard. So what this means is they've already released this for the standard insecticons, and of course they've used the different names as well. Right, but I'm going to upload as well each individual figures transformation process just to keep the main length of this video down. We are going to have a look at these in both of their modes, but as I say, to keep the main length of the video down and just to do the review, we're going to have a look at the figures in both modes, have a look at the accessories, and of course do the obligatory comparisons. Now what I do really like already, and it's nothing to do with the figures, is these blue energon cubes at the back. Now they look massive as well. They are in fact even bigger than the ones that you get with the Hasbro ones, and that's because I've got one there funnily enough. So yeah, it's a lot bigger to be honest. Right, I'll move that out of the way as well, but let's have a look at these. And so I'm probably going to refer to them, in fact I'm going to refer to them as if they were the normal generation 1 insecticons. What I mean by that is kickback, bombshell, and of course shrapnel. So let's have a look at these figures, and again these are really small. So in fact let me give you an idea of how small they are. There is a standard core class Hasbro figure, so really small compared to them. Let's move that out of the way. In fact, let's move these out of the way just in case it doesn't focus on what we want to see. So this is of course a diaclone version of shrapnel. It's got a lovely little head sculpt. The blue visor looks great. This opens up. Can we spin the visor around? I'm not too sure. I've got, oh yes, sorry, the head around, you can spin it around. I've got no experience with these molds at all. I've got ball and socket joints, which I think is honestly sometimes a bit better. There's a waist swivel. When you're doing first impressions like this, there's ball and sockets at the knees, there's hip flexures, so there's hip twist, knee bend, and there's an ankle tilt and rock as well. And then we've got of course the insect feet at the back, and then we've got his little gun as well, which looks like it's going to fit exactly like that. Right, there we go. So I'm going to start to line these up. I'll do all the main comparisons a bit later on. Right, now we're going to move on to what I would class as being bombshell, and this is obviously going to be his weapon, which is also, I can tell, going to turn into his antennae in his robot mode. So same principle, yeah, the head will spin around, ball and socket shoulders, ball and socket arms and biceps, waist swivel, ball and socket hips, knees, pretty much the same to be fair. So these do feel light, they do feel, to me, and I'm new to this new age and third-party collecting, they don't really feel like Newage. They feel, I don't want to use the word cheap because that's not the right one, but with most Newage figures, like, you know, like these, you get some metal in them, they just feel a little bit more robust, whereas these don't. These feel, I suppose, exactly what they are. I don't want to say fiddly, just, yeah, maybe, again, pretty much Micromasters, aren't they? Let's be honest, everything's the same. There's even a waist swivel on there, and then this is his gun, is it? I think that's his gun, yes, it must be. And that's going to pop in his hands like so. So I'm loving the deco on these. The chest on this looks like. Is it going to come out? I'm not too sure. I don't think so. Again, sometimes with these it is just for display, but look, they do look really nice, and I do like the fact they've got the translucent chests on them as well. Right, that is them had a quick look at in robot mode. We're going to have a look at their alternate modes, then we're going to come back and do the main comparisons. Okay then, here they are in their alternate modes, and we're ready to have a look at them individually. But again, quick apologies, no transformation process on this video. That is to keep the main length of the video down. There's obviously 3 figures, and although they are small, they are still really quite intricate, and in some cases quite difficult to transform, as you can see by the instructions. But that is why there is separate tutorial videos for them all, so you can watch that at your leisure as well. Right, let's start off with this one again, who I'm going to be referring to as Shrapnel. And again, it's really clever, good use of the silver there. It's not chrome, it's just sort of silver plastic or silver paint. That is the translucent part there. Everything just, there's no actual wheels, it just looks like there's wheels. And I'm pretty sure I've seen some images where they've got these energon cubes on the back. They don't fit anywhere. These have got, to my knowledge, no tabs anywhere, so it's not as if they do tab onto anything there. They just tend to rest on these. In honesty, that seems to be the images that I've seen of them, which does obviously tend to work. The only other thing I can do is pop the little blaster into one of the back feet like so, but you've got to be careful because there are lots of ball and sockets, and again, they do tend to pop off, and indeed they can, yeah, they can break off sometimes. But once again, to give you an idea, I suppose, of the size, I've gone with this traditional colours on these just for now, just because I've got them, just to I suppose show you the difference in size. So they are so small compared to them. That might start to take away some of the focus. If it does, I'll move it out of the way. Then we'll have a look at, I suppose, what we call Bombshell. And once again, you can tell huge difference, but very clever indeed. They've got the translucent on the front. There is no wheels underneath, but they do have molding detail like it is wheels. They do, again, just display pretty well, to be fair, for their size. And then finally we've got Kickback, and my Kickback's got his legs completely fully out, and this guy can fit on the back of him because it is really that much smaller. Here you go, to give you an idea, I suppose, of how small they are. Let's move all these off screen just so it doesn't try and focus in on everything. There is Kickback, and there is a Generation 1 Bumblebee. Not only have we got Generation 1 Bumblebee, we've got Power Glide in both modes. So look, I mean, this is huge compared to them. These, of course, are just the mini bots from Generation 1, which were very small. I suppose to give you a better idea, if you collect mainline newer figures, that's just an Earthrise Micromaster, which is way bigger in, I suppose, all aspects than this. We'll probably see if he's the same height in robot mode in the next part. But again, with regards to actual figures, these are tiny. That is a Takara World's Smallest alert. And again, just, yeah, these are really small, nice and intricate, even up to Doctor Wu standards. You know, they're small like that. But one quick last look. In fact, no, we've just done Shrapnel. Bombshell, this was, of course, his accessory. The original head is carefully tucked away, and yeah, very cleverly tucked away in there. And then Kickback, this is probably one of the most intricate, with the way the arms and everything all fold out. And they've used a good way, I suppose, of disguising his arms by putting the blaster in them at the back. Again, no chrome, this is just silver paint on them, but I'm sure you'll agree, as I say, that they do look good. Now it's time for the final part of the video with all of the comparisons. Let's have a look at them right now then. Okay, then we're back for the final part, and let's do some of them all important comparisons. So I'm going to bring in, as I say, what I would refer to as Shrapnel. I really can't remember his official name, so apologies for that. But look at the size difference between these. They really are very small. As I say, they're dubbed as, or they're sold as, shall we say, they're sold as Legends scale figures, but these are even smaller. I'm sure you can make out just how tiny they are just by them being there. And again, the Generation 1 figures themselves were never really that big. And I suppose to give you an idea, these are the new mainline deluxe versions that we've had released over the last couple of years under the Legacy toy line, and these just tower absolutely tower above them. They really do look good though, and I really do hope that Takara and Hasbro make a Generation Select version of these little figures. I've just very quickly transformed one of the Micromasters from Earthrise, just to give you again an idea of scale and size. And there you go, it is, it's Micromaster size for these little figures, so even smaller, as I say, than your other standard figures, I suppose, that you're used to seeing from Newage, etc. Right, let's move these out of the way, and then let's give you an idea, if you collect third-party figures, just how big these are. So let's take these out of the way. If you are interested in seeing a video review of these, they are under the ehobby playlist on this channel. Right, in fact, I'll keep them separated because it makes it much easier to do things like this. So there is Magic Square Trailbreaker. That is actually Newage David, or Optimus Prime as he's known as. This is Iron Factory Sheen. So that's your main, as I say, main third party legend scale figures. And then we've got again, they're pretty much Micromaster size as well. We've got some Doctor Wu figures, which now the Insecticons look huge compared to, so of course they don't really work. Again, just very quickly, for those people who only collect sort of mainline, there's a core class figure, and you've seen the deluxe, so that gives you an idea of just how small they are. And I suppose if we did these, just because I've got them here as well, here is some Generation 1 figures, again, all of which make these look even smaller. Anyway guys, I think that's pretty much covered all these. Once again, just a quick reminder, individual very small transformation videos for these, if you want to see them, are live as well. Also, you'll probably be surprised at just how intricate they are for their size, so it's definitely worth a watch. And again, you can watch them at your leisure rather than having to watch in the main video review. So anyway, let me know what you think of these. If you want to get a set yourself, there's a direct link in the of course in the description, and I'm just going to bring these back in as well because of course they come as part of the package. Let me know what you think of them in the comments, guys. Take care.